record. So Tessa, you've been working on your multiplication tables, and I am so proud of you. That is fantastic. The one thing we had trouble with last week was we came back to subtraction and we found some gaps. So let's go over these problems right here and let's see if you can do them right now. So remember, write them down immediately. The first one is 962 minus 383. Do all of your borrowing first, then you give me your answer. And by the way, why do you think they have this box here?
So you write the answers inside?
Nope. The answer goes under the equals line. Why do they give you this? Come on, what do we do? We
have to check it.
Our answer using what operation?
I'm using adding.
Yes. So whatever answer you get, you're going to add 383 to that answer, and it better equal 962.
Okay.
All right. So get started with your subtraction, please.
Okay.
Six. Okay, you should be there by now.
Okay. Okay, I'm just checking my answer right now.
Cool. Can you tell me what your answer is while you're checking it?
599.
Cool. Keep going.
So can I add it up?
Yeah, go, please, please. 599. 3 plus 9 definitely equals
12.
good. 1 plus 9 plus 8.
1 plus 9 plus 8. Okay, so it's basically 9 plus 9.
No. Oh, yes, yes, yes. And 9 plus 9 equals?
9 plus 9 equals 18.
And
Wait.
6 and 8 are not the same thing. And 1, 3, and 5 does equal 9. So you're off by one number. So let me ask you a question. Tessa,
Yeah.
what was your borrowing? Come on, the 2 is too small. Okay, hold on. Bring it a little, hold on a second. I can't see it. Bring it a little tiny bit closer. Wait, hold it steady. Hold it steady.
on both sides.
Okay, I think I see the problem. Now, Tessa, you clearly said that 2 was too small for 3 and you made it a 12, correct?
Mhm.
You borrowed from the what?
I borrowed from the 7. I mean,
There is no 7 there.
oh dang it! I
You
accidentally
borrowed from the what? Come on, say it.
the 6.
And the 6 becomes a what?
I accidentally wrote the 6 as a 7.
Come on, what does the 6 become?
The 6 becomes a 7. Wait, no, I did it right.
When you take 1 away from 6, what does it become?
It becomes 7. Oh wait.
That's
Oh.
1 away. You're borrowing. You're taking 1 away from 6.
Oh my gosh, that's 5.
Yay! And 5 is what to 8?
And 5 is too small for 8.
So you make it a
15.
yay. And
9 is perfect for 3, but you had to take away because you borrowed the 15.
take your pencil away from your nose because I can no longer hear you because you're covering your mouth.
Because like the 15, the 9 was
All you have to say, Tessa, look at me in the eyeballs. Eyeballs. We borrowed from the 9 to make it a 5 of 15. So the 9 becomes a.
So the 9 becomes an 8.
Yeah, so Tessa, you don't look at 9 and 3 until you first do your borrowing. Now you look at 8 and 3 and you say, we're good. So Tessa, 871 minus 292. So Tessa, I want you to do this problem right now, please.
Okay. 171 292 minus. Okay. Okay, I just finished the top part and now I'm trying to get the answers.
That's fantastic. That's exactly what you should be doing.
Okay, now I'm making sure that it's right, so I'm checking it.
Oh, that's exactly what you should be doing.
So I got it wrong. Because I got the first one wrong, but I think I know what I did
Okay,
because
so tell me what the borrowing is. Go ahead.
so it's that
So can you read it to me? Say the 1 is too small for the 2, so
one is too small for the 2, so I made it into an 11, which I think was supposed to be a 10.
why would that be a 10?
Because I think that's why I got my first answer wrong, because it was supposed to be.
Tessa, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to rename you as Tessa so I don't call you by your mom's name.
It accidentally came up as that.
Yeah, now, sweetheart, why would you make the 1 a 10? You're borrowing a 1 because 1 is too small for 2. So it becomes an 11. You were right to do that. But where do you get that 1 from?
I got it from the 7, which I turned into a 6. But then 6 was too small for 9, so I made it into a 16. But then I got that from the 8, which I turned into a 7.
So Tessa, stop right there. You did perfect borrowing. Tessa, done. Perfect borrowing. Now, the only mistake you can make now is subtraction.
And then
Wait, Tessa, look at me. That's what we want. This is way more important than the subtraction. If you can get the algorithm with the borrowing like you just did, Tessa, you got this. And you're not going to make any mistakes. Come on, Tessa.
my answer.
No. So tell me each one, go.
So the one's called. So
Say it out loud. 11 minus 2 is.
minus 2 is 9. And then 16 minus 9 is 7. And then 7 minus 2 is 5.
So, honey, did you get 579?
Yeah.
Then you got the right answer. So guess what? Maybe your problem is addition. Now, let's do the addition. Let's see where that mistake was. Go ahead. Come on, 2 plus 9.
2 plus 9. Wait, we're starting from where are we starting from?
Come on.
9.
Always the ones digit. You always start with the units digit. In addition, subtraction.
I think I found.
Do you know what 2 plus 9 is, Tessa?
Okay, 2 plus. I think I found the problem. I accidentally wrote down 9 plus 9.
What do you mean?
I accidentally wrote down 9 plus 9 instead of 2 plus 9.
Oh, you mean you wrote down 299 plus 579?
Yeah,
That'll do it.
there's the problem.
So Tessa, come on, let's try it. Go. Change the 9 to a 2 and let's do it.
So 2 plus 9 is 9. 2 plus 9 is 11.
Exactly. You keep going.
So then is 11. Then 1 plus 4 plus 7 is 12. 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8. And there we go.
So what did you get?
I got 821.
Well, that's not what we got, is it?
No.
We got we had 871. Can you look at your addition again, please?
Oh, I wrote down 871. Yes, I wrote down the right answer.
So Tessa, let's do this together. Ready? 2 plus 9 is 11. Carry the 1. 9 and 1 is 10 plus 7 is 17. 5, 2, and 1 is 8. Check. Now, Tessa, this time, I want you to do this. No mistakes, though. No mistakes. Be careful of the numbers you write down. Keep checking back to make sure that the numbers are correct.
Okay.
All right, get started, and then I can't wait.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now I'm subtracting it up.
Okay, cool.
Okay, now I'm adding the answer.
Okay.
Six, 4, 5, 7, 6. So on the second one, I got it wrong.
Okay, let's go through your borrowing.
Sorry, I did my adding wrong.
Okay, so do the adding correctly and then tell me if you've got it, because you've got the adding is so important.
I'm restarting over. Wait, no, my adding was right.
Okay, so Tessa, I'm going to ask you right now to please tell me about your borrowing. No, I don't want to see it. I want to hear it. Go.
So 2 was too small for 6, so I made it into a 12. Then 12 was too small for, and then 12 was too, oh wait, yeah, sorry. So 9 was too, well, and then 0 was too small for 2, so I made it into a 9.
Tessa, look at me. Every time you borrow you have to take it from somewhere. So look at me, Tessa, in the eyeballs right now. You ready? Say, Mr. Kramer, when I borrow,
Mr. Kramer, when I borrow,
I have to go to the next place value.
I have to go to the next place value.
And I have to take one away.
And I have to take one away.
So, but you have to do it immediately. So Tessa, 2 was too small for 6. You made it a 12. You borrowed from the 0 to make it a.
To make it a 9.
Tessa, you didn't make it a 9 because 0 was too small for 2. That's not part of what you're doing right now. All you're doing is borrowing 1. Now, Tessa, what do you have to do next? Whenever you borrow from 0 and make it a 9, what do you have to do? Remember, we've written that rule out a dozen times.
Or take away 1 from the number that you borrowed from.
No.
Oh yeah, take away 1 from the number that gave you the number.
Nope.
Um,
All right, Tessa, I will write the rule down for the 12th time. Are you ready?
well,
Yes, you have to. You go back to the PDFs. You will see this rule written out 12 times, which means you're not practicing your subtraction. Are you ready? Whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you must borrow from the next
number.
place,
Oh.
no, next place value. Tessa, it's that simple. That is the rule. So Tessa, you borrowed from 0 to make a 9, so now you have to do what with the next place value?
So next place value, you delete 1.
Tessa, look up, look up, look up. Tessa, come on, focus, focus. I'm right over here.
0 is too small for 5.
No. Do you see anything here which says anything about it being too small?
No.
Tessa, read the rule right now, please.
Whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you must borrow from the next place value.
Read it again.
Whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you must borrow from the next place value.
So look up, Tessa. I just borrowed from 0, made it a 9, so I must borrow from the next place value.
Oh, I made that one a 10.
It has nothing to do with the fact that it's too small. You must borrow from it and make it a what?
10.
When you borrow from 0, you get a 10.
9.
And then what must you do? Did you just borrow from 0 to make it a 9? Did you do that?
Yes.
Then what do you have to do?
I make the 7 into a 6.
You must borrow from the next place value. Tessa, look, Tessa, I'm going to write a number down, right? So 3, 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 3. And we're going to subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, Tessa, I do not want you to write this down. I want you to be hyper-focused. Your eyes should be like laser beams on the numbers, and your ears should be laser beams on what I'm saying. Are you ready?
Yes.
3 is too small for 8. we make it a 13. We have to borrow from the 0 to make it a 9. The rule is whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you have to borrow from the next. Whenever you borrow from 0 and make it a 9, you have to borrow from the next. Whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you have to borrow from the next. But now we say, 4 is perfect for 4. So we don't need to do what?
We don't need to borrow.
Now you finish this.
But then 0 is too small for 3. So we do need to borrow. And then the 0 gets turned into a 9.
What? Tessa, if a number is too small for that number, you must make it a what?
10. 10.
Tessa, the 0 becomes a 10, not a 9, because it's too small. You have to borrow a 1.
But then the next number becomes a 9.
And
And then 9 is perfect for 2. And then 3.
Tessa,
But
no,
3 is good
no.
for 9. But we have to take away 1 because.
No, but Tessa, you said 9 is perfect for 2. Tessa, you never say 9 is perfect for 2. Whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you must borrow from the next place value. We don't care that 9 is perfect for 2. Now, Tessa, we're going to do this again. Okay, Tessa, you just tell me what to do as fast as you can, but remember the rule. In fact, Tessa, I'm going to bring the rule, the one that we've written down now 13 times, and we're going to bring it in. If you don't practice, we'll be talking about it for a 14th time. And that's okay. I don't mind doing it. I think you might mind doing it. And I would really like you to move on to a different concept. So much fun to do new concepts with you. But we can't move on until you get this. All right, Tessa. Ready? Go.
Okay.
And go slow, but keep moving. But think about what you're saying at every turn. Also, your knees are in front of your face. Get seated down nicely so you're really focused, and the only thing in front of you is mathematics.
Okay, so 0 is too small for 7. So I make it into a 10. And then we borrow that from the 3, which the 3 becomes a 2. But 2 is too small for 5, so we have to make it into a 12. And then we borrowed that from the 0, which becomes a 9. And 9 is good for 8. And then 0 is too small for 2, so we make it into a 10.
Tessa, stop. Tessa, you do it every single time. And at some point, you're going to go, I am going to read the rule. And I am going to apply the rule to the problem that we're doing. Until you do that, you're going to get it wrong every time. So I'm going to make one little change. Never, ever, ever. In fact, I'm going to actually write this down. Hold on. No, it's not working here. Okay, let's see if I can. All right. I'm going to make this now. when you borrow from 0 and make it a, come on, make it a
9.
9. Let's use the word never, ever, ever say nine is good for that. Why? Because you always have to borrow from the next place value. Now, that's the rule that's in blue. You don't need this other rule. But Tessa, I don't want to ever again hear you say 9 is good for 8. Never. Unless you didn't borrow and you just had a 9. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Okay, Tessa. Start again at the beginning. You can use what you have here. 0 is too small for 7, so you made it a 10. Continue.
Well, I mean, 3 is too small for 5, so
No, Tessa,
that from
you
3,
borrowed. You borrowed.
and then we make that a 12 because
No, you borrowed from 3 and you made it a 2.
we made it a 2, and then
The only reason that it became a 12 is because 2 is too small
4,
for
5, and then we borrow that from the 0, and then we turn the 0 into a 9, and then we borrow that from the other 0, which becomes a 9, and then the next 0 is too small for 9.
Tessa, never, ever,
Oh,
ever, 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 ever,
um,
ever, ever, ever. You must, Tessa, you must borrow from the next place value. Tessa, you borrowed from a 0 to make it a 9. Tessa, you borrowed from a 0 to make it a 9. So what must you do?
You must borrow from the next place value, so I borrow from the next place value, which becomes a 9. And then 2 is too small for 7.
Tessa,
Yeah. Oh yeah, we borrowed.
Tessa, did you just borrow from 0 to make it a 9?
Yes.
Then you must borrow from the next place value.
Okay, now 2 is too small for 7.
No, you are not allowed to say that 2 is too small. You haven't yet borrowed.
So now the 2, we make it into a 1. And then 1 is too small for 7, so I make it into an 11. And then we borrow that from the 0, which becomes a 9. And then we borrow that from the other 0, which also becomes a 9. And then we borrow that from the other 0, which also becomes a 9. And then we borrow that from the 4, which also becomes a 9.
So 4 becomes a 9?
Wait, no, which 4 becomes a 3, though. This time.
Okay, good,
Oh my God,
good.
that's a lot of
Now-
9s.
No, you're not ready to do subtraction yet. You're not ready. You're still struggling with the algorithm. Okay, Tessa, I am patient. We are going to get this if it's the last thing I ever do. Okay, you ready?
That's the biggest.
All right, Tessa. Now, Tessa, you may notice that the rules are right under here, which you should read about 85 times while you're doing the problem.
Okay.
You're not going to have those rules every time, Tessa. You've got to get this. I know you can do it. All right, kiddo. Go slow. Don't say any words until you first think about it and then test it. Now, you're not looking at me, so I don't know that you're listening. What did I just say?
To read the words while you're doing the problem.
Okay, that's what I said a while back. Now, you didn't hear what I last said. And that's because all I can see is your hair. Your head is all the way up against the computer. You're not seated back on your seat. You're not listening with your ears and your eyes. You listen with your eyes. Are you listening right now with your eyes?
Yes.
Okay, Tessa. Before you ever say any words, say, before I say any words,
Before I say any words,
I am going to think and test.
I'm going to think and test.
And that thinking and testing means look at the rules.
Look at me, not thinking and testing means look at the rules.
And Tessa, when you borrow, you must take away from the next place value. You can never say a number is too small for another number unless you first do the borrowing.
So like on the first part, 0 is too small for 3. 0 is too small for 3, so I make the 0 into a 10, which I have to borrow from 8 because we borrowed it from the 10, so the 8 becomes a 7. And then 7 is too small for 9, so we make it into a 17. And then we borrowed that from the 3, and the 3 becomes a 2. It's 2 is perfect for 2. And then 0 is too small for 5, so we make it into a 10. But and then the other 0, we borrowed that from the other 0, which becomes a 9. And then 4 is good for 3.
I can't hear you, please. I can't hear you.
4 is good for 3.
Tessa, I can't hear you. I can never hear you when you say it's good. Whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, never, 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 never say. Does this say never, never, ever, ever, ever?
It says never. Oh yeah, it does.
Never. Never means never. Tessa, whenever you borrow from 0 to make it a 9, you have to borrow from the next place value. Tessa, read the rule.
Whenever you borrow from a 0 to make it a 9, you must borrow from the next place value. When you borrow from a 0 and make it a 9, never, ever, 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 ever say 9 is good for the next number. Why? Because you always have to borrow from the next place value.
So what do you have to do, Tessa?
Never, ever, ever say.
No. What do you have to do now?
Oh, now 4 is too small.
No, Tessa, no. I don't want to hear too small. I don't want to hear just right. Because you first must borrow, Tessa, borrow from the next place value.
3.
Tessa, you
Oh,
borrowed from 0 to make it a 9. What do you have to do with the 4?
the 4 turns into a 3.
Yeah, but why do you keep saying 4 is okay for 3? 4 becomes a 3.
And then 3 is perfect for 3. 7. I mean,
Tessa, get closer to that computer. Not too close, just closer.
like that.
Come on, what's next?
And then 3 is 2. Oh, never mind. 0 is 2. Oh my gosh, never mind. 0 turns into a 9. And we borrowed that
So
from,
why did you turn 0 into a 9, Tessa? Why did you do that?
because it was too small for 1.
Tessa, you don't borrow from 0 if it's too small. Tessa, you only borrow when you need to borrow. Did you make the 3 a 13?
No.
Then Tessa, you don't borrow. You don't make the 0 a 9. Tessa, you don't borrow from 0 because you didn't borrow here. There's no 1 here. So you didn't borrow. You're just asking the question, is 0 big enough for 1? And the answer is no. What do you do when 0 is too small for a number, Tessa?
You
You've already done it twice in this problem.
you add a 1.
You don't add a 1. You make the 0 a.
Make the 0 9.
Is that what you did here and here?
Oh, sorry, you make it a 10.
You're not focusing, Tessa. If you don't focus, you're not going to get this.
We make it a 10. And then we borrow that from the other 0, which becomes a 9.
Great.
And then we got that from the other 0, which also becomes a 9. And then we're done. And then we borrow that from the 7, which becomes a 6.
Okay. Now, we're going to do this again. And we're going to do it, Tessa, until you get it. We are not going to stop until you do what?
Get it.
Until you get it. Minus, all right, Tessa. Now, I really have a lot of faith in you. I believe you can do this. You just have to execute. You have to follow the rules. And Tessa, you have about 18 different examples right here, Tessa, that before you answer, you could look up and say, what did I do in that other problem? Look at it. It's right here for you, Tessa. Come on, you can do this, kid.
5 is for 5. The 0 becomes a 10. We borrowed that from the other 0, which becomes a 9. And then we borrowed that from the other 0, which also becomes a 9. We borrowed that from the 4, which becomes a 3. 0 is too small for 9. So we make it into.
So 3 is okay for 5.
Wait, no, 3 is too small for 5. So we make
Tessa,
it.
you can't not analyze the number. You can't just move on. You've got to find out, do I need to borrow? Do I need to borrow? You can't move on unless you analyze, do I need to borrow? Go ahead, Tessa.
3 is too small for 5, so we make it into a 13. We make the 0 into a 9 because we borrowed. 9 is perfect for 9. We have.
Wait, you didn't just say that 9 was good for, did you just say that?
I said 9 was perfect.
No, but it's not perfect. 9
Oh.
is not perfect. You never, ever, ever analyze, and I think I was really clear on this, never analyze the 9 and the 9 because you've borrowed from 0. What do you have to do whenever you borrow from 0, Tessa?
You make it.
No, you must. You must.
Borrow from the next.
Tessa, come on.
Okay. So we borrowed the 9. We made the 0 a 9, and we borrowed that from the 0, which also becomes a 9. And we borrowed that from the 3, which becomes a 2. And then the 0, and then that 0 becomes a 10. And then we borrowed that from the other 0, which becomes a 9. And then we borrowed that from the 1, which becomes nothing.
Well, it becomes a 0. Okay. And so Tessa, you came a lot closer to getting that right. All right, Tessa, you have 5 minutes. If you get all the borrowings correct, we are going to do a dance, a big dance.
Okay. I should probably stop dancing and start. 0 is too small. Oh my gosh. No, no, no. Does that count?
What do you mean?
I accidentally said 0 is too small for 1.
Well, but of course it is.
Okay.
Is 0 too small for 1? Have you borrowed in this place value over here?
No.
There is no place value over there. So you didn't borrow. So you just got to ask the question, is it too big?
0 is too small for 1. So we make it into a 10. We borrowed that from the 2, which becomes a 1. We borrow 6, and 6 is too small for 9. So we make it into a 16. And then we borrow that from the 0, which becomes a 9. And then we borrow that from the other 0, which becomes a 9. We borrowed that from the other 0, which becomes a 9. We borrowed that from the other 0, which becomes a 9. And we borrowed that from the 1, which becomes a 0. Can I look at the rules?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, go back. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because 0 is too small for 3, so we make it into a 10.
Wait a minute.
Oh. Oh.
Come on, I'll let you restate it.
0. We make the 0 into a 10.
Which 0? There are lots of them.
Oh, the 0 with the 3 under it.
Really?
Oh wait, no, we make it into a 9.
Tessa, what do you do with that 0?
Oh my
You have
god.
to analyze the 0 and the 4.
The 0 is too small for 4.
That's what it is. 0 is too small for 4. So that 0 becomes a
That 0 becomes a 9.
Tessa.
A 10, a 10, a 10, a 10.
Tessa, what do you do when 0 is too small? What do you do when 0 is too small?
You create it and make it a beautiful 10.
Make it a beautiful 10. Come on, Tessa, 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Then 0. And 0 with the 3 under it becomes a 10.
Tessa.
Oh, wait, sorry, it becomes a 9. It becomes a 9.
Tessa, you borrowed. It becomes a 9.
And then the next 0 becomes a 9. And then the 3 becomes a 2, the n.
Okay, so Tessa, this is the only thing I want you to practice this week. I want your mom to give you hundreds of problems every day, 10 of these. And I want you to, I don't care about the subtraction. I just want you to do the borrowing. You got that?
Yes.
So let's save as. And Tessa, you're so close. You're so close to getting this, but still far enough away that we can't move on. And there's so many amazing things we could do, but if you don't get this subtraction algorithm, you're going to struggle in other areas of math. And I don't want you to ever struggle in math because you're going to be a rock star. Deal?
Yes.
Okay, so let's send this to Shri and Rick. And subject, Tessa, one of my favorite subjects. And let's see, there she is. Tessa, I want you to have the best week ever. I'm gonna put a little note to Mom, okay? And the note is, dear Shri and Rick, Tessa is working really hard and she still does not have a mastery of the subtraction algorithm. I would like her to work at least 20 minutes per day on the types of problems that she and I did this week. I do not care about the subtraction right now, only the borrowing concepts. Okay, you got that?
Yes.
So that is your job. I'll see you next week. And you have an awesome one. Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Yeah.